growing up, whenever I thought of the Franciscans, whenever I heard about the Franciscans, of course, we all think about essentially how St. Francis was just this tree hugger, hippy dippy kind of guy. But for me, when I discovered the story of St. Francis going over to Egypt in the attempt to convert the Sultan, I realized that in the simplicity and the beauty and the joy of the Franciscans is also this serious attention to the beauty and the truth of the gospel.
One of the things I was never attracted to St. Francis because growing up in the 60s and 70s, being barefoot and going around, that reminded me of hippies. And hippies were not something that I wanted to imitate. And that's kind of the Zeffirelli image that was given of St. Francis. I tell people it's St. Francis of Assisi, not a sissy, because so many people have this sissified version of St. Francis. And that's what finally struck me, that as I became more acquainted with the friars, that St. Francis was not a sissy. Matter of fact, that his biographers, the men who knew him, said he was a thoroughly Catholic an apostolic man, which I thought, what could be a better compliment to give anybody to be called a thoroughly Catholic and apostolic man? So yes, he went to convert the Sultan, and sad to say, the modern movie that they put out about St. Francis had him like going there to do some kind of ecumenical dialogue, like telling the Muslims how good they are. But that wasn't the point. He went there and he said to the Sultan, he said, I'm here, I'm the troubadour of the great king, and I want to prove to you that I represent the true God. And he said to the imams, you build a fire, and I'll walk into the fire with your holy men, and whoever comes out alive represents the true God. And none of the imams, none of the holy men of the Muslims would take him up on the challenge. So St. Francis told the Sultan, well, then you still make the fire, and I'll walk into it. If I come out, then that means that, you must accept the faith. If I don't, it just means that I was a poor sinner that, wasn't worthy of such an honor or whatever. And the Sultan said, oh, no, you don't have to do that. And so the only one he converted, but it wasn't until on his deathbed, was the Sultan. And St. Francis was very disappointed. He said, these people are going out waging war for something, but they're willing to kill for it, but not willing to die for it. And he was willing to lay down his life and risk even working. He believed so strongly that God would work a miracle to convert them if they would have accepted his challenge. So St. Francis, I think, is, would the real true St. Francis please stand up, because so many today have a rather pitiful representation of him.